Qlik is a unique analytics tool in the market, and we are not dependent on complex relational data modeling as many other tools are. Qlik uses an associative engine to correlate data from multiple tables and data sources into a single exploration experience. Here we're looking at an app that Qlik has pre-built for the SAP Sales and Distribution module from SAP ECC. Let's go ahead and take a look at this application. We'll start by starting at the main dashboard, and we'll see a pop-up here, and this is saying that our anonymous user cannot reload the data, and that's fine. So we're going to take a look at this, and this is IDES data, sample SAP data. It's not great, but it will still give us an idea of how the data can look and feel coming from Delta Lake. So let's look at the left, and we're going to start by diving into Germany. And when we make that selection, we see that all the data filters down to reflect just the information that's going on by customers that have been billed by Germany. We get some high-level metrics, but let's go and see what the Qlik built-in AI can find out about the data. So we've built this dashboard, but let's go ahead and take a look at the insights. Now this is the Insight Advisor. It will take a look at the data, it will analyze it, and it will find and see if there's any other relationships with the data that we may have missed that it finds interesting within the engine. So once this runs for a second to analyze all the possibilities, it will give us some ideas of things that we could look at, different charts, different chart types, different ways of analyzing the data. And what we can see here is that there's some interesting observations, but if we want to get more specific, let's go ahead and filter down, and we're going to go ahead and look at sales order. So we can scroll down here and see sales order quantity. So if we go ahead and choose that, it will now go back and re-refine those entities, go find new combinations in the data that might be interesting. And we can continue to do this with dimensions, we can do this with different measures, we can do this with different entities, so that it will actually continue to generate us new concepts and new interesting information. So let's go ahead, and what about the fact that we've already made that selection on Germany? What are we missing by looking at Germany? So now we'll go look at a different element, which is our associative insights, and we'll take a look at our sales material. And what will tell us is that we've made a selection, we're filtering down on Germany, but by doing that, we are essentially missing 81% of our materials that we sell. Germany's only accounting for 19% of things that have been sold from our material list. And that is only accounting for about $11 billion of our total sales. So it's interesting just to understand this information and what we're directly looking at and then what we're missing in the data by only looking at the explicitly defined values. Now that we've done this, let's go ahead and look through the rest of the application. We have many different sheets in here that tell different stories. This is billing analysis and trends, looking at billing detail information. Everything is also filtered by our selection. So we see as this moves through, it carries our selection with us. We can see overall we're looking at 76% on time or early, which is good. Continue to go through here looking at sales orders, more and more information, more and more details around what's going on within our sales, including a what-if scenario where we can make adjustments to price and quantity. Let's really quickly though take a look at the data model. This is a relatively complex data. It must be very difficult for a traditional query to do because there's multiple fact tables. There's a sales order header and sales order detail. There's a delivery item header. There's a delivery item detail, and a whole bunch of dimensions that link up between all of those. And Qlik has sorted that out and solved it so that you can scan across all these, see these relationships, and you can see it very quickly as we saw with all these different charts. But let's go see where Databricks has plugged in here. At the last entity, what we're going to take a look for Germany is how we're doing on predicted delivery. So we've actually run algorithms inside of Databricks to guess whether the material is going to be delivered early, late, or on time. So what we've done here is we've modeled this information. Now we had a customer reach out and said, hey, we're going to have a problem. There's some weather coming up that we're looking at, and I can't remember everything, but I believe that they said December 2000 and something about Kunde, Kunde. So let's go ahead and use the associative search engine to try and find this information. So I'm going to type in Kunde. I'm going to come now and type in December, and I'm going to type in 2000. And it will go through and find that there is a relationship in the data between December, the year 2000, and Muster Kunde customer. So what we can see here is that when I make that combination of selections, the data will now filter down for that customer, for the order year, and for the month that we picked for the country of Germany that we'd already selected. Now, if we look over here, what we can see is that the engine is predicting that we're going to have 58 deliveries late, 1 on time, and 1 early. Now, let's go ahead and compare that to what actually happened. So Databricks had done the predictions and had gotten almost all of them right. One prediction that was early was late, and one that was predicted to be on time was late. So, 58 out of 60 of the predictions were correct, which is pretty good for AI and ML. So thank you very much for joining us with a quick tour of going through, taking a look at the Qlik integration with the Databricks AI/ML data learning on SAP. Thank you very much.